was going to say that we talk a little about divorce, but that's not what the video is about, so we'll just leave that out. So now the next thing I want us to talk about is singlehood. We've seen that there's a lot of problem that is like an offshoot from social media life, movies, audio, musicals, and all of that. We've seen that they have a great impact on our idea about relationships and all of that. So, what do you think? I mean, the audience can do about themselves and the phase where they are alone. They're like single, and I think there's something about single and alone. Like a phase where you are not involved, you're not in a relationship with somebody.
You're not committed.
You're not committed to somebody. You're still like
marriage.
Exactly. You're still like yourself. So there are a lot of I think at that phase they say people should work on themselves for you to complement the other person and all of that. So how do we handle that at this time? Like handle the single phase. And by single phase we don't mean that you are not married, but we mean that you are like Alright, so what do you think?
Do you want to go?
I think
I don't think I have
things
to say.
right?
No, how do you manage it? I think that nobody should be desperate to get into a relationship. I know it's easy to be like God when you get. I talk about situationships as well. When you get on social media and everybody's just posting like nice love relationship content. There's proposal. You're like, God, am I a table? Would you get? Or you just heard that somebody's getting married or someone just got married. Maybe like someone from your primary school or from like your uni. You're like, do you get? Am I a person? What is wrong with me? I feel like those things they put like subtle pressure on our hearts, and if we fall for it, we might make a bad decision. We will never make a relationship decision just because
somebody else.
We are exactly because we feel lonely. I think that there's a completeness that we can experience in and of ourselves. I think that it's a time when you can really learn to be your own person, where you can learn to enjoy your own company. And you can learn to do your own things. Like you can actually be by yourself. I think that for me, because I've had a turbulent relationship, and when I went from that to being single, I actually loved this. I was like, oh my god, peace of mind feels so good. Like there's nothing like having peace of mind, like really waking up and having peace of mind and just being your own person. And I think it's people learning that you can survive. In the earlier parts we talked about money. A lot of times not people in relationships for financial reasons, even when it's not necessarily financial. So like I'm talking about my relationship, right? He always supported anything I was doing. Right? Anything I was doing was always very supportive, and he would support me financially as well. So when I got to the point where I was thinking I want to be in this relationship, one of those things I feared was like God. Like how am I supposed to do you understand? How am I supposed to learn how to survive? How am I supposed to go back to learning how to do everything by myself? When you've always been in a space where there's always someone to help you with anything, not even talking about financially, but how do you get in that space? And what I realized was that I survived. And I actually enjoy it. Anybody can enjoy it. Some people are so scared of being alone that for at every point in their life they must always be in a relationship. I realize that it is amazing, like being your own person, like living like your own life. It's just blissful. You're in your house, you're cooking for yourself, you're going to work, you're making friends, you're going to church. You even realize that you'll be more committed in church because you don't have plenty things that you're doing apart from your work. Like you don't have you don't have other engagement. Like the Lord is your boyfriend, Jesus is your boyfriend. It draws you into like a certain level of intimacy. Like it draws you to a certain level of intimacy with God. And I think everybody needs that space where you can love your person. I've seen people talk about like divorce marriages. Like you've been with someone for some time and you're not feeling yourself again because people have never learned how to be alone with themselves, like how to be by themselves. If you've not learned how to be by yourself, you will not find that joy, that satisfaction, that completeness in another person. Because the only person that completes us is Christ. No man, no woman can complete a person. So we can only find completeness in Jesus. So that's looking for it in a So I feel like everybody should learn how to enjoy it. It's a serious flex. She actually learn how to enjoy that phase, that phase of being by yourself and say they say that like you cannot know yourself until God reveals who you are to you. I think they say, God, okay, show me who I am. Like help me to know and understand who I am. Like you outside of another person. I thought I could not survive financially. He taught me how to work hard. I realized that nobody's going to send me any money apart from my parents, which I didn't feel like I wanted to burden them. Like I didn't want to be calling them every time. I felt like I've left school. Should I really be stressing these people to send me money for everything? I realized that you can work hard. I was very hardworking though. I was very hardworking. When I had accommodation issues, right, and it was like there's no boyfriend's house that you can go and say, okay, let me come and live with you because I didn't have a place to live. I went to Scotland to the front, which is something I'll never do. Like I left Ife where I have house and I went to Lagos to live. And I don't have a place to go. I had to say, please can I come and live at your house for a while? Please just let me come and manage it too. People always think that they cannot survive that phase. You can survive it. I learned how to make money because money was not coming from anywhere and I had to figure it out. People, you can work hard, you can look for a house. Eventually I rented my own place. All those things, please don't come. So all those things would happen. You have to learn that you can actually survive on your own. And it's also a time to build good, healthy relationships and friendships. Like, so you just say, all your female friends are invisible to you. I'm like, I'm sorry people were in my life so that I do see you. I was in love, I was blind, I didn't know you existed. It's a time to now deepen those. It's a time to deepen those relationships because you realize that the only person you need in your life is not the man. Yeah. It's not only your spouse that you need. You need to be surrounded by other healthy relationships that nourish you. And it's good that you have a time when you serve God. And I want to talk about situationships in God. What I think is that we must always have the courage to walk away. I feel like that's something I didn't express because I feel like I spent more than 6 months of my life with someone that I knew very well that it's not a relationship, but this person is there. I'm really just expecting a relationship. Do you understand? It's not a relationship. It's not a friendship. Going on. It is just a relationship. Exactly. Really I think it's not good for either party because at the end of it, somebody always leaves hurt. Yeah. There'll always be one person that is hurt. The person that had expectations that it was going to become a relationship. And the person that knew that it was not going to become a relationship but they were enjoying it, it is unfair. And I feel like in that situation I was that person. That enjoyed it. Somebody shall call me. Even if nobody calls me, this person shall call me. If worst comes to worst and I need help, I can always call this person. That was selfish. That was wrong. It would have been better to just have a conversation between and sit down and say, I know you want to be more than a friend to me, but I don't think I want to be that to you. So that expectations are aligned. It will be painful, right? But it's better than letting someone hang with you for a long time and they feel cheated. They feel very odd. So that's what I have to say.
Just feeling the pain of that one. Like he was out breakfast, dinner, lunch.
So it was really sad.
Well, enjoying singlehood. I think if I have spoken from mostly the female perspective of enjoying singlehood, kind of.
So you're opposite.
Should I hear from do you think I want to hear from the other side? But I think singlehood is fun. For me, I see singlehood as mostly a time of building capacity, defining your purpose, and the reason for existence. We must change the concept of someone else completing us. We are complete in ourselves in Christ. So there is this African culture that has crept into the church that once you're of a certain age, you just have to get married. Your parents will preach it, your friends will preach it, social media will make it worse, they will kill it. In fact, if care is not taken, your pastor will preach it.
Oh my God, that's a high goal.
Yeah, you are like everybody's in like what is it? You're like shame yourself and don't follow. So that begins to affect decision making. However, I feel the time of singlehood it should be a time of self-building. Because at that point, just like Paul said, you are free, you have liberty to serve God more freely, you have liberty to make decision. You have a decision, you're making a decision that okay, I know someday someone will come into this place. However, I'm complete in myself. So when you meet two incomplete persons trying to complete themselves, now like your happiness depends on this person. I think I was listening to John C. Maxwell, and he was speaking of happiness, choices. I read something, and he said he had a conversation with his wife, and he asked his wife if he has been making. Someone asked his wife, "Has John has been making you happy?" And she took a pause. So like she doesn't think John has been making her happy, and she said to his wife, she said, "Sorry, I'm not supposed to make you happy. I'm not completing your happiness. I'm not the source of your happiness. If I'm the source of your happiness, you will always be sad in my life. So you should be happy in yourself.
Yeah.
I should come and meet a happy, complete person. I should come and meet someone that will, if you're complimenting out there, you should be purpose alignment. I'm not meeting someone who haven't discovered purpose. So the time of single should be a time of finding your niche. What on earth am I doing here? That's the best time. At that time, you don't have bodies of thinking about the next person, oh, how far this guy. Well, whether we are committed to a relationship that leads to marriage or not, there is a part of us that actually has to do with people. Thinking about people. But I think when you know you're not committed to that part of bonding as married, as couples, it should be a time of building capacity. As I am right now, I could decide right now that I'm traveling outside this country and I owe nobody any explanation. I only need to wake up and put a call across to my sweet mom. Hello, ma. I think I'm going to be leaving the country today. What's up? I have an engagement outside the country. I'm only coming home to pick my bag, and that's the end to it. Any other person I owe any communication to will be my mentors and the rest of them. But friends, they can understand. I'm not looking at who am I abandoning, who will say, what about me? What are you going to do with me? Do you get? But I can't make such decisions if I'm married. So the time of singlehood is time to explore in a good way. Discover who you are. What has God made you to be? What's your purpose? What am I going to live doing? So if I meet a lady as a guy, my first conversation with you, just like we spoke, drawing from the last conversation, shouldn't be the sexual aspect of it, but I'll be thinking, what can she bring to the table? Okay, this is what God has asked me to do, this is my purpose, this is what I'm here on earth. I have this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I bring it to the table. She brings, she's doing this, she's doing that. Wow, we can connect. That means we can push the frontiers in God's kingdom with what you're doing, with what I'm doing. We now begin to see a place of compartment in what God has asked us to do. So marriage or relationship ought to be like someone that is already doing something. That I was listening to Fela Drote, and he said marriage should be someone has a purpose, another person has a purpose, and this person is pushing this other person's hand to achieve this purpose, and this other person is pushing this other person's hand to achieve purpose. It's not like one person is a parasite, just waiting for somebody to make him more complete, just sitting relaxing. So in terms of singlehood, all you're planning is one person out there to complete you, one person out there to make you happy, one person out there to give you the best of us. You want to say, hello, what are you doing? That's the question. Now that you're single, what are you doing? We must shun being preoccupied with marriage mentality and get occupied with capacity, with purpose. There must be something I have to be doing. There must be something I want to aim for myself. Now, myself, I'm being in quote now because everything has to be in line with God's pattern. So it's not myself, I want to do some negative things now. So I wanted to correct that. So there must be something I'm doing from the kingdom perspective. Anybody coming to meet me should be together. We are pushing the kingdom frontiers. I shouldn't come and meet a casualty in the name of marriage. Lots of persons, because of that mentality, has met casualty in marriages. Because you just discovered they didn't discover a purpose. You didn't know what you're going to. You don't have a picture of 10, 20 years. This is where God wants me to. You didn't build capacity. GDK will call it your portals. You are not expanding. You didn't build your portals, your faculty has not been expanded to see 10, 20, 50 years. So I get to marry, let's say I get to marry him. And because I have not seen 10, 20 years, I was only building my own because I was seeing in 5 years. And the 5 years I was seeing it's gone. I have not built next 10, 20 years. And the fair has been seen just 3 years. See, we are going to bet casualty. That will be frustration. The next, let's say after we get married, 1 year, 2 years, the fair wakes up one morning and say, wow, I think God is leading me to leave what I'm doing. I'm starting like, hello, we had this come up. You never mentioned anything of such, and me I wake up telling you that I think at this point in time I can't do this again. I think we have to start doing it like, hello sir, can we have this conversation again? And you now begin to see issues because all of this was not built when you were single. You didn't build them. We might not have the full picture of the whole vision, but in your walk with God, you must know where you're heading to. You can tell how this thing will always end. You can always tell, okay, this is where I'm going. This is the path God has allowed me to be. This, I know that God has brought me this up, but I know the vision God has given me, I have bigger ones. This daughter that I did before you now, I have visions of over 20 years in it. Visions of over 20 years in it. I have about 10 daughters that way that document prophecies and visions of over 20 years. Industries I'm going to build. Programs I'm going to hold. How wide I want them to be. Countries I want to reach if God gives me the capacity. And if God places money in my hand today, what I want to do with that money won't be marriage. There are a lot of things I want to do with that money for the kingdom. If a woman comes, this is what I'm presenting to her. know this. I think that's what our fathers did when they were single. So when they made their spouse, that's what they presented to them. This is what I want to do. So when I get into the relationship, I already know, the lady knows. Are you going to journey with me to this or not? Are you on the ship or are you going to take a bath? Take a walk. So singlehood should be for someone from a build capacity. Discover yourself, build your purpose, know why on earth are you here, and you're good to go.